Ben.
Excuse me?
All right, all right. Welcome to Pantheon PlusYou number 61. We are so excited to be here. Tonight was the Pantheon dev stream that asked me anything. Lots of stuff to discuss tonight. What'd you guys think?
Oh wow. Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I mean, it was nice to see such a big panel of VR. Nice to see Minus getting his face back in front of the camera for once in a while. Haven't seen him in a while. We've heard from him. Haven't had a chance to see him, but yeah, it was great. I felt like that was a good back and forth. I feel like everybody, got a little bit of their area of specialty in to comment on, so that was always fun. I like the broad, like they had sort of all the areas covered, so yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Didn't nothing earth shattering. I don't think. I think you guys would agree with me on that. But what do you guys think?
Nathan, go ahead.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good. I think the problem is that like it's only an hour long, right? So there's a lot of good questions, but they have to be super vetted and which ones get asked. And then, typically a good question takes a while to give a good explanation for, right? And so, it's awesome. They need to do it more often. I think another thing is like there's a lot of repeated questions sometimes, right? It's like they just talked about that like last in the round table or on this. So I've seen a couple. I tried to reply to them just so they'd still get an answer because I was pretty sure those weren't going to get asked. So yeah, it's awesome. It's just an hour flies by.
It goes by so quickly. Like whenever we do a show, whatever show, this or the rewind or anything, those hours, it's like you blink and they're done.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Right, and I didn't have a high bar for this. I'm the AMA part. I struggle with, right, because typically an AMA is like you're like giving a lot of information and you answer like all the questions. Like historically, that's
You
what
go,
it is. Yeah, and like you don't leave till like everybody's asked their thing, and I just felt like they didn't really have enough information to give. To do it like a full true AMA, but what they did was good though. I there was some information and it was interesting, and they are giving us monthly updates. So I just feel like the monthly updates are kind of killing your quote unquote AMA aspect of it, right?
Yeah, and I mean the reality is this is a pretty a low overhead type of monthly update. Like it doesn't require a lot from them to, not in terms of the setup, but in terms of like showing us some prepackaged content. So, you always have that trade-off that gives them more time to keep working on the game, which is what we really, really want, right? I'd rather have that than some crazy overproduced piece of content, although I'm not going to complain if we get that either, but
Right.
just trying to see the positive, trying to see the silver lining on it a little bit, I guess. I think you're right. I mean, Draq, I know we talked a little bit about what our expectations were going into this, and you never know what you're going to get with an AMA. Are they have specific questions they want people to ask, or is there something they're going to be targeting or looking for a question, because maybe there's an opportunity to talk about something on as sort of a surprise way of going about it. We didn't get that, and that's fine. And like you said, Nathan, I think there was some stuff that was like pretty recent from information we'd heard pretty recently. I agree with that. I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. LaFell said maybe the AMA was for the wider community, not just the hardcore fans.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And that's actually
That's
kind
fair.
of, yeah, and that's kind of like opposite of what we've seen in the last few dev streams, right? Like
Sure.
the last few have been very targeted at the hardcore fans, the people who are very in touch with what's going on. And this was more broad, a bit of a broader spectrum, and also a chance for maybe people to get to see the team for the first time, or at least hear from them.
Yeah, and it is fun too because you get to see live like reactions and real. You kind of get to see the humanistic side of the developers too because they get asked some wonky things or they weren't expecting, or and then the answer sometimes throw somebody else on the team off. So it's a fun dynamic, and I hope they do continue to do them.
The one of the cool things for me was just like I liked seeing Minus. That was super fun. I like
Yeah.
he's beginning to be incorporated into the team. Because we have a personal relationship with him. We're friends with him, and so it's just really cool to see him step forward and leading stuff. Right. So that piece of it
Yeah,
was super awesome.
they unbound him from the VR basement and actually let him come up into the he got some fresh air. That was nice.
Yeah, yeah. You can't keep him down for long. He wiggles his way out of
Yeah.
any sort of like ties or binds. If you try and like cuff him to
Yeah.
the wall, he just finds a way out. He's got those rogue skills, so he doesn't
Yeah.
slow down for
I
long.
would pay good money to see the discussion thread between Minus and Joppa, just to see like Minus is like, well, what about this? Well, what about this?
Yeah,
Like it's got to be
guaranteed,
good
guaranteed.
for
Yeah,
a non play game stream too. Like they had a lot
Yeah.
of viewers tonight. It was
Yeah.
350. Like that's quite a few viewers for one that's not like we're playing the game. So I thought
yeah.
that was a success. So it seems like maybe the marketing and the getting the word out on the dead streams is working really well.
I kind of wonder if they might take some of the questions that they didn't answer tonight, and we might see them, in a producer's letter down the road or something like that. Because I feel like there were a lot of questions. I mean, there was a ton of questions from chat that they probably only answered maybe 20% of them. So I'd like to see something like that, where they can go back and review some of those questions. I think that might be helpful, but you never know.
Never know. So let's go over some specific things. I have a little list here of stuff I thought was super cool. In that list is definitely not networking stuff. I think I am networked out officially. I know more about network code and HDRP and more than I will ever need to know in my entire life. But there was some stuff that was maybe some people are super techie, but it's just not me. That's not what I'm interested in. But there were things that did interest me. Number one, they let slip that there is going to be one more pre-alpha session in 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be
2021.
one more before the end of the year. So that is super cool. So we're going to get to do that. We'll get to see that. That'll be super cool.
Yeah.
I got to be the only person probably in the whole Pantheon community that's a little like I'm happy about it, obviously, right? But I'm just a tiny little piece of me was sad because I had an entire Christmas song list already made for like a commercial thing I was going to release about we want pre-alpha for Christmas, and now like maybe pre-alpha will be around that time, so it's like dang it, dang it.
Well,
Gotta-
and they said that would be goodbye to the client, right? To the client that we've been the pre-alpha testers have been using for a while now, right? Ever since they did the redo, and so since they put in the gray boxing, so
Yeah.
super excited about that. That'll be very cool. The second thing I was super excited about was that there's the pre-alpha sessions they're going to get longer and they're going to get more rapid. I thought that was super super cool. And
Yeah,
then
just on the heels of them talking about focus testing too, right? Because that was the last roundtable. They really focused in on focus testing. So now, we're going to get a more expansive testing session, which is nice.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make it all about VIPs and pre-alpha. So the last thing that super excited me was GM events confirmed. They confirmed that there are going to be GM events, and it looks like there's going to be run by VR, even if they have to volunteer to do them. That's how much they're invested in GM events, and so I think. Yeah, go ahead.
That laugh Joppa did, guys. There's some trolling going to happen from the everybody's seen it, right? Like that was definitely an Joppa conspiracy happening there in his head, whatever he was thinking.
Too much. Hopefully, hopefully that will be cool. But I played EQ long enough to remember when EQ had GM events and they would spawn things, and like you'd rush to one zone to see what the heck was going on, and I love that stuff. It was super exciting during the time, And
Yeah, your friends would be paging you because
Yeah.
that's how we communicated
I
from afar.
yeah, for sure. And they're like, "Oh man, you got to get to Oasis." Somebody spawned a giant crocodile. I remember that was one of the ones that I did. Like, and it was huge. It was like the size of a sand giant, and he was roaming around killing everybody. So that was fun. So that's
I
what I
know. You don't see those in MMOs anymore, right? Nobody does that. Like,
yes, nobody.
why is that not a thing anymore? You know, like I want this randomness in the world. I want random crazy things that can happen like that from, just a GM's idea. I think those
Yeah.
are so fun.
And it's been too long. What the heck, man? Since the days of paging. That's how long it's been. Come on.
Yeah, that's
right. So Nathan, what did you like? What were your areas or from the Q&A that you liked?
It made me happy to hear that, for one thing, which they've kind of hinted around, or they've really flat out said it before, but it's always reassuring to hear about that, they're consistently looking at the classes and their abilities and the percentages of this and that and reworking and retooling those. So that was good. And then, of course, hearing them talk about the iconic locations, so like points of interest and how lore and the actual experience of playing the game coming together to make memorable locations that aren't just some trees on top of a hill for no reason, or that kind of stuff is world building, which is makes it more believable and makes it more fun to explore. And then also there's just that random thing where, like, even if you just play the game and you don't pay attention to lore and you skip all the text and you don't care about any of that, one day you'll be in a group playing somewhere that you actually enjoy playing, and somebody like Therek will be in your group and tell you something crazy about that location, and that's just freaking cool, right?
Yeah, that's 100% going to happen. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to inundate people with knowledge that they may or may not want,
Right.
but they will appreciate it once I've provided it to them. Yeah, that's a great point. That relates to something that I really like too, and that was Jan talking about the density of the like he was talking about Fortress Devair, and I think this was actually Deserin's question. He talked about the density of like interactable items in Fortress Devair and how they don't. Not every area is going to be like that. It's not going to be this crazy thing where you have to spam fest. You're clicking everything every time you're going back because you might be flagged differently. He said it has to, the areas are going to be different. Not every area is going to be like that. So, places like a library, that might make sense. But places out in the open, you're not going to click every tree and branch to try and pick up a perception ping, which I thought was really important to say. And I enjoyed hearing that. So,
however, in those open areas where you may not expect it, there could be some things. So it's one of those things where it's like, as long as they have a lot of places that are condensive, have that kind of content, then the way gamers work is we'll be everywhere trying things like that, right?
yeah.
Which
Absolutely. Well,
world.
This is an interactive show. It's not about Nathan
Yeah.
me. It is about the community. That's why we call it Pantheon PlusYou. And so if you are part of the Pantheon Plus Discord, you should go there now. You should hop in the green room, and you should be prepared for something to say. For tonight, I think everyone should answer the question, because this is kind of what Joppa left us with, is do you like this format? So when you come in, make sure you answer, did you like the AMA format? What did you think about that? And then go on with any other comments or whatever that you liked about the stream tonight. Do you guys have anything else before we start bringing people in?
No, I'm good.
Oh, let's do it.
All right, Derek, do we got some people lined up?
We do. We have two people in the green room, and we're going to start with Archbishop, who is a regular listener, regular viewer. So, Archbishop, if you want to unmute your mic, I will drag you into the live channel. So, okay, I'm pulling you in, so unmute yourself. Archbishop, hey.
Oh.
Are you there?
We got him.
He's unmuted. Can't hear you, though. Okay, well, I can put you back, and we can come back to you. Maybe that's what we'll do. Are you there, dude? No? Okay, I'll put you back in the green room, and you can fix it, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, so we're gonna go with Desrin instead, and so not the caboose by not by choice because it was gonna be the caboose, but by luck. So, Desrin, how are you, man?
Hey guys.
What's
Pretty good.
up?
What's up, Des?
So format, um I like the format, but at the same time I definitely miss the old kind of let's play days where they kind of did AMA plus a bit of rambling plus a bit of just playing the game like good old group buddies would. Uh, if I was to change anything about the format, it would be that it would just be accompanied by, them playing the game and wiping and, having a good time while someone delivers questions to them over voice.
That's a really good point.
Dude, that would have made
Yeah.
it a lot better. I would have loved that. But it's hard to know if they have those kind of resources or if they're ready to do that, right? Or where the build is, right? Maybe it's not
Right.
it's
Right.
not in a functional space.
Which might have been why they vied for just a kind of conversational AMA as they did. But yeah, that would have been my feedback for the format, I think.
Yeah, maybe something we'll see in the future. Like they have done sort of those kinds of streams in the past. Back in the day, I think there was some. So certainly something that I'd love to see as well. I think that would be super fun. But you got your question answered on stream, Desmond. Were you happy about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave a pretty dang good answer too. I mean, I never really expect any information, and I don't think there was necessarily new information. But what I really enjoy about their answer, and they do this a lot, and Joppa does this almost enough to make me like suspicious, like kind of the cynical side of me gets a little bit on edge because he's so freaking confident in like their tools. He's talking about like he called their tools like A plus, if they were to give a grade on their internal tooling for like creating content and stuff. Like, I mean, that's a lot to say. That's a lot to say.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And you said you were pretty happy with the answer that you got from them on your question.
Yeah, it was more of a. I do this a lot. I try to ask questions that are more prompting for the wider audience, just to let them display stuff that we probably already know, but maybe be able to answer it in a more clear way, or a more recent way. Like, they ended up talking about Odin and stuff again, just to keep that in the conversation so that people don't have to, look back 2 years to find out what, when they mentioned their content creation tools or something like that. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. For sure. Was there any other questions that they answered that you were particularly interested in, or any other sort of pieces they touched on?
well, I mean, you guys already kind of touched on the PA info, or they kind of gave a little bit of additional nuggets throughout the various questions they answered. And I kind of like the idea of the whole farewell to the current client, where the PA testers will get that last, like, they'll know that, hey, this is the last time we're going to be doing gray box, like, terrain and stuff like that.
Sure.
The last time with the current class setup and et cetera, and kind of send it off,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's nostalgia.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm big on that feeling of when the calendar turns, of sort of starting fresh every year. Like that's sort of that's my mentality, just to things in general. And I like to hear, somebody else express that as well. So they're talking about that view of, turning a page and getting ready for the next phase. So that's, I like that.
Plus,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, plus certain people that would prefer to play paladin or warrior are still stuck being a dire lord.
Yeah, I wonder.
Certain people.
I don't know anybody like that, but if I did, I bet they're.
I don't know any
hurt
paladins
the
in PA
inside. Yeah.
in PA, so
I bet their feelings, they just stuffed them deeper down at the end. They're
That's right.
starting to feel like a summoner at this point, I think. Just stuff it deeper. It's okay.
You're gonna just become more and more vengeful.
Are you working on pets? No.
No.
I just want to point out, guys, and I don't know if they've ever said this before or not, but on the pets thing, and everybody's like, oh, summoner. Well, guys, they got to get the network straightened out before they can release pets on top of PCs, right? Like that's pretty important that the network is really well done. So it makes perfect sense they would do that first.
100%.
Yeah, and this kind of goes along with the whole format, I think, of answering questions that longtime followers probably know, but gives room for questions to be re-answered and reaffirmed, just to stick with that, including the pet stuff. You know, it was very straightforward. Nope, just like we have in the newsletter. We're going about it this way. This is why, and we're sticking to that. So
Yeah.
It just kind of goes to what I was saying earlier. Like, I kind of wish that the questions that picked were ones that they couldn't just say, you know, we don't have any new information about that. Like, you know, there were lots of questions. I mean, like I said, there was tons of questions. Maybe they, you know, maybe it was just like, seemed like the most interesting one, or I don't know what the criteria was, but
maybe they should have had Ben filtering the questions so he could just be like, nope, this is already out.
Dude, I'm pretty sure that Ben was behind the scenes, and they left a bean about that. If you notice towards the end, Minus was like, he's like, I feel like he could go for a few more hours. He was like, no, Ben was there. Okay, guys, Ben was there. He was behind the scenes.
I feel like I saw like that cane hook coming out towards Minus somewhere, you know, trying to pull him, you know, pull his chair off, you know, the stage.
Perception. Oh, Transmog Bear says perception ping for Nathan.
Nice one, Nathan. Nice one. Right on, Des. Anything else you want to add?
It. You know, not a lot. Like you said, not a lot of like really new stuff. But as you did kind of bring up, you know, maybe that kind of format would lend itself better to how they do the roundtables, where they get a bunch of questions ahead of time and kind of go over them.
Oh, totally.
But then it would kind of just make it a second roundtable, you know. So maybe that maybe that wouldn't work. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm not going to say I was disappointed. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting much tonight. So
yeah.
But overall, you know, I think I kind of feel like we're just in limbo, right? Like we're kind of waiting for the next like really big stuff to drop. Yeah. Because we had a couple really big drops, and you know there has to be a wane and a wax to information like this. You know, having a really steady amount of information throughout a development cycle is going to be a hard thing to keep up. So I am looking forward to that newsletter, though. So
yeah, always.
I'll leave with that.
Right on. All right, thanks.
Yep. Not every stream can be class reveals, right? It's not gonna work like
that.
Right.
But this game's never gonna come out, right? Well, that's it. So you gotta pick.
Right on. We'll talk to you later, Des.
See you, Des.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get to the next person, I do want to mention Archbishop in chat. Just wasn't getting his audio working, so we'll just say what they wanted to say. So the only thing I wanted to say was, besides hi, was that I was so happy to hear for the community during the stream. There was so much great energy from everyone and tons of viewers. It was great to see the involvement from both sides. So yeah, like you were saying, Draq, they had a lot of viewers tonight, which is great.
They did. They had a lot of viewers, which was really cool to see. Because like I said, it's not a gameplay stream. Like the gameplay streams go nuts, right?
Yeah.
But just to have people check in for an AMA, I think that's really good. And maybe a tip of the hat to a certain bear for getting the word out, because I think he probably had something to do with that.
Yeah. Certain strength. All right, so I'm excited. We have Militus in the green room. I'm going to bring Militus in. We haven't talked to Militus.
He did promise he was going to come in on Twitter.
I'm so excited. I haven't talked to him in forever.
I know. It's been a while. So let's bring Militus in. Militus, how's it going, man? Dude, don't keep us hanging. Are you there?
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Hey, I was listening to you in my AirPod with one ear. And I was listening to the green room with my other earplugs. But hey, man, so good to see you guys. And
You
Yeah,
too,
what's up?
dude.
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the last time we talked to you was for the draft, I want to say. Maybe it was
Gosh,
since
has it
then,
been
but
that long?
It's been
I feel
that
like it's
long.
been a
Oh my
while.
god. Well, it's
Yeah.
been too long. Been too long. I was woken from my Pantheon slumber with the last big live stream, and I couldn't quite get on with you guys. So I said I'm definitely getting on with them this month, and I had no idea that Minus was going to be on the show, and that even made it that much more sweet to kind of come out and support him as well. So thanks for
Yeah.
having me on. I wanted to definitely respond to Draq's question about what I thought about the format and things like that. And I guess I would say I thought it was cool. You got to mix things up in a long um, development process. You got to mix things up. So I think it's good to do this every so often. My only one kind of thing I think could make it better would be in a month you're going to do it like this. You're going to do the dev stream with the AMA style. Why not release the newsletter? I know this is not typically the way they do it, right? But why not release the newsletter a week before? Kind of do it out of order, and that would generate a lot of buzz and questions and things that they could talk about in terms of
Good
the
point.
AMA.
Good point.
Yeah.
Totally. I think that's an excellent idea. I mean, because those newsletters are always very, there's so much more packed into them. And the roadmap to alpha, I think, generates a lot of questions. You see it every month and you see this is updated and, like there's so many little things you can pick apart from that roadmap to alpha. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, going forward, and I think that's the kind of feedback they're probably looking for, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
And I think that would also allow the questions to be a little bit more focused too. It's like just having an AMA on anything, like, and we don't know what like they want to take questions on. I think that's a big piece of it.
That's
But if
true.
you had the newsletter and you're like, okay, so we talked about this, then people could kind of hone in on that new information, and we could go with it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Instead of
and-
talking about things from like the past couple streams, be a little bit more fresh.
And everybody, when you read a newsletter or anything hot off the press, right? That's when the really good questions really come up, right? That's when they're ripe. So, and plus, it'd be a great chance for them if they had communicated something and the communities twisted it, which happens, right, into something different than they intended. That's a good follow up for them to kind of iron that out, right? So there's a lot of
Yeah,
good that could
that's
come
a good
from
point, Nathan, because there could be misperceptions about um, the way the community received a particular point in the newsletter, right? And that
it.
gives
Right.
them a perfect opportunity to remedy any of those miscommunications. And I
Yeah.
think too, it just goes along with like generally mixing it up, right? Because I feel like this is a way to mix up, as you guys were pointing out. Like I'm with you, Draq, 100%, man. You can HDRP me just right out of that conversation. Like, I mean, I know that some people really like that, and I'm happy for them. But like, I can only take so much of that, and I kind of like check out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm like, are we making an MMO or are we going to the moon? Like, which one is it? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I know. So
And
true.
and speaking while you're here, Militus, speaking of taking information and turning into something else, Minus had a Fallout Cup. If we remember, Joppa had a Breath of the Wild Cup, and then they announced climbing, right? And then later open world, right? Like so. Hey, look, are we coming out of the shelter, man? Is that what's going on here? I think that's what's going on. We're coming out of the shelter. We're headed into Alpha. What do you think?
I think that's your next. You guys you were saying about your Christmas song. You might want to include like in the song coming out of the fallout shelter somewhere in your lyric.
Fallout shelter housing confirmed for Pantheon Rides of the Fallen.
Oh no! Please no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it right in the middle of Fairthale, right, Draq? It
Yeah.
would just fit right in with the whole ambiance.
Yes.
Very much.
Well,
That's awesome.
I wanted to bring one thing up with you guys. I know you got other people, and I don't want to take a ton of time.
No, go ahead.
There is one issue I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I promise I know Therek. I heard you and Desrin on. I listen to the Rewind
Oh, nice.
every week, so you know. I love it.
Yay.
You guys are doing a great job. So big shout out to you and Desrin. And
Thank
I
you.
would just say this, just real quickly to Draq, you and Nathan. Great job, like in the transition after minus left and keeping Pantheon PlusYou up and vibrant in the community. Big props to you guys for doing that, and I think you're all doing a great job. But I know Therek spoke a bit on the rewind about how they didn't want to talk anymore about the refer a friend, but I just need to talk to some people. I'm a psychologist. I need to talk to some people about the refer a friend. Can I talk to the three of you just about that? Just
Let's
for
do it.
Get it
Yeah.
out.
Let's do it.
We're on the
Okay.
couch. Let's go.
Okay,
here
let's
for
do
you.
it. So I just wanted, again, I wanted to throw out my thoughts on this. I was in a slumber. I'm a normal Pantheon fan, taking in the rewind, taking in the PlusYou every week, checking out the newsletter, just in the background, just kind of being a silent supporter. And last month they come out with a recruit a friend, and I don't know exactly what it was, but it just touched a nerve in me. And it just kind of woke me out of my slumber. And I'm like, I got to talk to people about this issue. And I guess the thing that worries me about it is I think it's a great idea. I just think it's the wrong time to do it. And I've read Kilson's. I went to the forums even there. You'd be really proud of me. I jumped in the forums and read all the posts. I read the one Kilson created. I read the ones that people posted. I I just think maybe it's not. If we were like closer to alpha or something, where I could have my friends come in the game with me, I think that would make more sense. I just don't know that it makes sense now. And let me tell you why it kind of tweaked a nerve in me. As you guys know, I brought a number of people in the Pantheon community back when Standing of Fire became a thing. I saw it. I saw some of Basgram's work. I jumped out. I grabbed a bunch of my friends. I said, "You guys have to come to this game. You have to come to this game. We're going to start a podcast. We're going to do this." And I had a lot of my friends pledge. Okay, and that was over 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so there's just a part of me, like when that was announced, it just kind of,
You feel like the cycle again, like you're at the cycle where you were back then, right?
yeah, because like Derek, I did recruit a friend before there was a recruit a friend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I
Before
did
it was
it
cool.
like a lot of us have, right? And so I just know there's some interactions I've had with those people over the years that I just don't want to have again, and I don't
Yeah.
really wish on anybody. Does that make sense?
It
does.
absolutely does. It absolutely does. Yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
I wanted to say, because I know you'll relate, because I hopefully you'll remember what I'm talking about. So back then, on the Stands and Fire show, right? I was on one time, and we were talking about Pantheon and the community, etc. And Tess actually said, I think she brought it up. She said, it kind of feels a little bit like a cult. And I said, yeah, but a really nice one, right? You remember that?
I do remember that actually to a T.
So,
Yes, I do.
so I think of that a lot. Actually, that's one of the moments that sticks with me. I'll be, on my phone, mind wandering, and I'll think of that. And what it is like a cult is only good if it has members, right? So the recruit a friend is kind of like, number one, it tells me that maybe we're closer to, big things, announcements, and just show offs of the game, etc. So they're kicking off now, which is a kind of like a low kickoff, right? Because it's just with the hardcore fans right now, right? And they're only going to get more hardcore fans, right? Like that's all they're going to get right now. But if they start it now and everybody gets used to it and it's normal and it's part of our conversation, then if soonish a big kickoff is about to happen, it's already baked into the program, right? Like it's already a part of us. And it feels a lot cheesier to do it now than it would after the big kickoff. And then it's like, you know what I mean? It's kind of cheesy then because,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
No, I get you, and I think I'm sure they know the plan. I obviously don't. I don't see their calendar and their milestones and things like this. So I'm with you. There's probably something going on I'm not even familiar with in the background, Nathan. Again, my only worry is, as you mentioned, the hardcore fans. Hardcore fans want the game done, and they may pull in some their friends to back the game.
Yeah.
in a hardcore way. And and then those people might not necessarily be hardcore fans. And like, for example, let's just keep it 100% here. So I would consider myself a fairly hardcore fan, maybe not as hardcore as the three of you guys, but like obviously Tess was not as much of a hardcore fan as me, and neither was Boom. And so yeah, that created some friction down the line, because it's like, if I could have given them, if I'd known more, I could have given them more realistic expectation about how long it was going to take. And so that's my only worry. I don't know the what's happening behind the scenes, and I certainly hope that you're right. And if you are, I think that's a smart move. But if not, if it's going to be a long time before that big event, as you spoke about, I would still stick with my original argument and say it's the wrong time.
Yeah,
So,
I would agree with you. Yeah, we don't know, but and it's worth mentioning that during the time we're talking about, I know you remember, we thought Alpha was coming at the end of the year. What was that, 2019? And little did we know that behind the scenes,
the refactor was
they were refactoring,
refactoring.
they were tearing everything down and rebuilding the code, and we were sitting there like, maybe we're going, like. So
yeah, because you got to
we
remember
don't
in
know.
2018, it was like pre-alpha. I mean, they were like
Yeah, they were
going
rolling
from
them out.
2 to 3 to 4, like they were marching along, right? And I was like, holy cow, this thing's coming. And that's when I got them on board and everything, and several other of my friends. And so, yeah, you're right. Things just kind of stalled because of the refactor, and we didn't know what was happening. But maybe, I hope you're right, Nathan. I hope that, next year sometime, that big event's happening and all this, and the timeline just kind of runs perfectly and logically up to that point.
So
Yeah.
a certain bear commented in chat. He said, "The only thing
That's
I'll
not a
say
real
here,
bear.
starting it now, getting into the flow, looking at the rewards, getting feedback, having it in place now helps us when we are ready for when the big push comes."
So it's the pre-alpha refer friend.
Pre-alpha refer friend.
Oh, also my channel's in pre-alpha too.
Right. I would also say that, first of all, I loved the Standing in Fire podcast. I watched every single one of them.
It was so good. I wish
Thank you.
that was such a
Fun.
good team.
And if you are new to Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, and you should go back and you should watch those YouTube videos, because they are
So good.
fantastic. Second, just to address Militus, as you're on the couch, it's going to be okay.
Thank you. I'm sending the check, Draq. It's in the mail.
I think for myself, because like that was when I was getting in. That's when I pledged pre-alpha during that time, right? Same time that you guys were doing the Standing in Fire podcast. Same time as everybody was getting hyped up and everybody was just moving forward. And I think just for myself, for the refer a friend thing is like, for myself personally, like I just have to kind of weigh it, because I already went through all that, right? Like you said, I went through the ups and downs of all that. So now I'm not inviting any of my friends to this unless I know that they can handle it. Like my friends that jump from game to game to game to game and are never happy with anything, like I know who they are, and I am not like mentioning this to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a smart move. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I go door to door. I have cards.
See, Nathan is the exact
Cards.
fan I was referencing earlier.
I have the
Nathan's
cards.
just getting everybody.
Look, I want this game out, right? And I want them to be able to hire more people, etc. And I want to get this game in on my. I don't do it. I'm going to be honest. It's selfish. Okay, I'm going to be honest. It's a selfish thing. I'm not doing it for anybody but me. I'm going to be honest. I want everybody to put down money. I want everybody to throw some money at VR, and because I know that they're managing their money really well, and I know that every single dollar is hiring another guy, right? Another guy to work on the world, another guy to get more original assets in the game, another guy to add all those little clicky things off the, and every time, to me, the biggest news that VR ever releases isn't new content, isn't a new zone. It's that they hired another person, right? When I hear that, I get so excited. On those doors.
He got so excited, he got out for a second.
He's going full napalm. Look out.
Yeah. Set up that kiosk at the mall, go door to door. Let's get that money in VR's bank. Absolutely.
I'm just a little less salesman and a little more relational, right? And so
Mhm.
I would be if I was in your situation, Militus, I would be feel uncomfortable, right? Because I had recruited my friends in and it was longer than I expected. And so I'm just cautious with that type of stuff. And so I think there's going to be, like I said, I think we're going in phases. And so I'm only talking to my friends that I think can handle it right now. And there's going to be a day, I think, when we blow the doors open and the non-hardcore fans, it's going to be that day. I don't think that's this day right now. And so I'm going to save those refer a friend things for when that day drops. That's just me.
Well, and I'll just add to that. I'm looking forward to the day when all the people who have ever been involved in the Pantheon community, like you, Militus, and Tess, and everybody else, comes back, and everybody's back in the forefront. Everybody's back and active and talking, and like that's what all this is going to sort of culminate in my opinion, and that's going to be
That
like
will be a great day.
glorious,
It'll
right?
be
Yeah,
epic.
absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to point out that no cult grew into great size from sitting around waiting for people to come. Okay, they had people out there. They were fishing. They were fishing for new members all the time.
I've got a great meme that's coming very soon. I've already thought it up. The Pantheon
You know-
cult meme will definitely live on Twitter.
You know,
That's
I
a nice-
once would tell people confidently and even passionately that I was a proud member of the Knights of Napalm. I'm not so much sure I can say that anymore, Nathan. You're too culty, buddy. Like, am I in a cult? I don't even know it.
A nice one. What's so bad?
It's a nice cult.
All these years, you've had me a part of the Knights of Napalm cult, and I didn't even know it. That's when you know it's a good cult.
Militus, if he starts passing around Kool-Aid, do not drink it. Okay,
Yeah.
like, that's bad.
No, I'm not gonna do
Hey, that Kool-Aid has your alpha invite in the bottom of the glass.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
In the bottom of that glass is the alpha invite, okay? Drink up. It's good.
Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys giving me some couch time. It was great talking to you. I don't want to hold up the other people in the green room, but it was really great to talk to all of you guys. And I'm still here. I know, Therek, you're like, hey, you look forward to the day we're all talking, but some of us are still in the background. We're just kind of being a little quiet, to kind of to maintain our hashtag Pantheon patience. And so we're still around, and I'll pop in and talk to you guys again soon.
That's awesome. I
Awesome.
can't wait to talk to you again, Militus.
All right,
Yeah,
y'all have a good night.
Yeah, see you
Anytime,
later, bud.
Militus. See ya.
All right. So that was great to hear from Militus. Love that guy.
Yes.
All right. We're down to our last green room person. We have John Wayne. So, John Wayne, if you are ready, I will bring you in now. John Wayne, what's happening, man?
It was good, man. That's going to be hard to follow up.
Yeah, you're definitely up against it with following Militus like that. But I know you can bring it. I've heard you bring it before. So
The only thing I could say is I'm pretty thirsty. So you still got some of that Kool-Aid?
Yeah. Hey,
you just want that alpha invite.
I've got it on tap, my friend. I've got it on tap. It's,
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah,
So,
we all want some of that.
Yeah. So I guess to get it back on subject, the question that the $1 million question that Draq has, I kind of like the format.
Okay.
I would like to see this as more of an additive more than a replacement. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like you got the VIP, you got your newsletter, you got your all that good stuff, and you have your developer stream, and then at the end of the month, maybe you have one of these, maybe not even an hour, maybe just 30 minutes. And I think it would be a great additive, something else to throw out there, and then all the stuff that doesn't get covered in the month maybe gets, maybe a couple question answered at the end of it. That's what I would like to see.
Sounds like more work from Minus.
It does, but he's on the team now, right? He's making the money, so
The big
we
money.
gotta keep him busy. We gotta keep him busy.
Huge money.
We don't want him slacking because I want him overworked as much as possible because I don't think you can overwork Minus, but
No.
I think it's a challenge that I'd be willing to undertake. But
the goal
what if it
is
was
to make him quit his day job.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's do it.
That's
exactly. But like, even if it was something like as part of the newsletter, right? Like if the AMA was like a supplemental to the newsletter, like not even a video form, if they just did a written thing as a supplement, at the end of the month, that might be something that's like walks that line between workload and production.
And I absolutely think that's right on, because we already have the round table, and that's a good deal for our VIPs who get it early. You know, everybody else gets to view it a month late, but you still get that content every month.
Yeah.
So just that one little thing to get more Pantheon out there, kind of get some of those questions that go under the radar versus, hey, ask what you need to ask because you don't normally see it. And now that we got the Library of Pantheon out, thanks to Basgrim and those fellows over there that are putting in work, which is it's doing great.
A lot of work.
I had to call them out. It's a good. I already got it bookmarked, so if you haven't seen it, please do. Go out there.
Yeah, we should put a link in the chat for people to go check that out, because it's a big undertaking.
And I absolutely think that things like those, and as the community gets more involved and as we grow, those things will allow things like AMAs to, I guess, be more expedited or more to the point with questions that go unanswered, rather than the developers having to reiterate like they did tonight. A lot of it was reiteration, which is not a bad thing, because some of this stuff gets forgotten and passed up. So having those resources, it's just 100% gold.
Yeah, and plus it feels good too with the reiteration sometimes on certain subjects, because this is a game built on a vision, right? And it just feels good to hear that the vision's still on track, right? So sometimes it just kind of reaffirms us, like, yes, that's still happening because that's part of the vision, right?
Oh yeah, and you want to see that. You want to know that it's on track. It's still something that you can support, get behind, and hey, throw some shout outs to your friends and get them on that recruiter friend program, because it's something you believe in too.
Yeah, that's it. And I tell you what, on that subject too, something that I mentioned when we were watching the live thing, but it kind of slipped my mind. So I really appreciated that Minus just kind of, for the first time I've ever seen, he just like unapologetically said, "Hey, go pledge your freaking money," right? Like it was pretty, it was pretty just point blank. I mean, it was nice. It wasn't rude, but they need to do that, right? Because that's what's funding the whole freaking project at this point. So I really hats off to him for just being like point blank, "Hey, look, this crowdfunded. Without your money, we can't do anything," right? So if you like it and you want it, then throw some money at it,
Pledge it, man.
Yeah. He will mispronounce your name, but he will take your money no matter what.
Minus is nothing but direct.
That's seriously. If I was in love with this character, it's a very roguish thing to do. Like I said in chat, you had a 2000 IQ move by your wizard, followed up by the paladin passing around the collection plate, all while the ranger sits there and watches it all happen.
That's
Sounds like a D&D narrative to me.
I like it. I like it.
It
was good stuff. It was good stuff. But
love it.
Other than that, I'm loving it. Loving the direction. The best thing about it is we're in a lull, but that with this lull, it's because things are just steadily moving forward and there's no problems.
Right.
Yes.
So I take away from this: no news is good news. We got some good new information, but not overloaded like we have been, because it's been fire for the past 6 months. Just bam, bam, bam. So. Yeah. I'm going to take this as, hey, we're moving in the right direction. New year, new me. New year, new Pantheon Rise to Fallen. Let's go.
That's right. Let's go. Great
great
stuff.
Coast into December and buckle down for January.
That's right. Yeah, right on, man. That's awesome. Okay, man. Well, I'll put you back in the green room. Thanks so much for coming in. You definitely lived up to, you followed up Militus well there. You brought the energy there. So I really appreciate it.
I hope so, because I had to take, I took the day off because I started a new job, right? So I haven't been able to catch them. So I took today off just for this.
Nice.
I was like, I am going to catch the stream and be on Pantheon Plus because I just need it. I need it in my life,
Awesome. Well, you're always welcome, man. We'll see you again.
And good luck with the new job, man. Good luck with it, man. I hope it goes good.
Hey, it's driving forklift. It's easy peasy.
All right.
Right on.
Have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Later, John.
All right. That's the green room, boys.
Excellent.
All right. Time to move on to the blue room.
Please point your browser at Pantheon Plus xxx.twitch.tv.
Or
For
you
the
can go
Blu-ray.
straight,
or
straight to
Nathan's
OnlyFans.
or Nathan's OnlyFans, one of the two.
Yeah. Listen, my OnlyFans has puppets, right? Puppets, no strings attached. No strings
No
attached.
strings
that's awful.
attached. Oh wow.
Oh, that's
I've been thinking of that for a while, haven't you? Right on.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show. What about upcoming projects for you guys? What's going on in the world of Nathan?
Got D&D coming up, so we're doing our final testing of combat in Fantasy Grounds, and then the following Sunday, not this Sunday, coming up, but the one after that, as long as everything goes good, we're going to start streaming D&D, so live with a really fun cast of people. I dare to say it will be the best D&D streaming or show that's ever came out before. It's going to be freaking awesome. So check that out.
First.
That's not on my channel. You'll get to see some bits and pieces from my channel from the sessions. But if you want to do that, you got to go to twitch.tv/Weave and Void. That's the name of our group and etc. So go check it out and follow and be ready for it.
Yes, and that will include Pantheon famous Sparrow and Bounty Code, who are P+ers and also were featured in the newsletter last month. So
that's right.
It's going to be very cool. So make sure you check that out. Mr. Therek? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add on. I just wanted to say, get in there. I checked that out the other night, and you don't want to miss Bounty Code. He's got quite the savage burns for the other players. He holds nothing back. He's merciless with his comments. So don't be afraid.
What about you, Therek? What's on the radar?
Well, as always, we've got the rewind coming up on Sunday. So Sunday at noon on YouTube for the premiere with me and Desrin, and we're gonna recap this a little bit. We'll probably talk some other stuff as well, and do our usual thing. And then next week, I've got a lore video coming out on Tuesday next week. It's going to be all about the Sanctums, which is something I actually asked about during the stream tonight. Didn't get answered, but that's okay. I was trying to get a little supplemental information for my lore video, but
thanks, Minus, for nothing.
I had some privileges around here, but apparently not. Apparently that
there's no special favoritism.
Yeah, apparently that one time I pulled a bear towards him, and he's still not forgiven me for that. So I don't get my question answered, but whatever, But yeah, so Tuesday you'll see a lore video about the Sanctums, and that'll be fun. And that's it. So yeah,
nice. Well, I am playing EverQuest Monday nights, midnight Eastern Standard Time. We are hitting the TLP again. There's 4 of us. We are having a fantastic time. So if you want to tune in right here on Pantheon Plus, Monday nights, midnight Eastern Standard Time, we are the late night crew. So we are on the new servers, not the. Why can't I think of the name? Is it the Blood? What's the name? Random Rob. What's the name of the server? Rob will put it in the thing. Anyway, we're streaming EQ Monday nights. Also Tuesday nights, we still have the MMORPG classes 101.
Thornblade, yeah. Sorry,
Thornblade, yes, that's what it is. Yes, so we're playing on Thornblade. And then Tuesday nights, we're doing the MMORPG classes 101. All of us are going to be involved in that, and we are doing Final Fantasy 14. And Nathan is extremely excited about that. And we're gonna be having a lot of fun. I think we've all got it installed now. We're chugging along. We're gonna do the goal is to do some dungeons this next Tuesday. So
we're not going to do the story. So for anybody who's like, oh god, I can't watch another Final Fantasy 14 stream because it's nothing but story. We're not doing the story. We're doing nothing but dungeons, the raids, the group content only. That's all we're going to do.
And I am very much looking forward to Nathan showing me why this game is good, because I do not. I'm not there yet, but I'm hoping to get there.
I am also not there yet. So
I am not going to be showing you guys why this game is good. A little spoiler. Square Enix is going to be showing you why this game is good, because they built the best of the World of Warcraft style formula here. The best. I've been saying it for years, and finally millions of people are realizing it's true and flocking to it like white on rice, right? It's not me. It's Square Enix. They did this. They did some wonderful things. They really did.
Fair enough.
It's not Pantheon, right? It's not even that kind of MMO. It's the WoW kind, but WoW being the insufficient way down here and Final Fantasy 14 content being like way off camera up here.
Yeah. Fair enough. Tune in Tuesday to find out if that's true.
All right. Well, we'll see. So, to finish off the stream tonight, I noticed that Redbeard Flynn is streaming tonight. So,
What's he playing?
Outer Wilds.
Oh, that's a good game.
Yeah, that is a good game.
So we're gonna rate him because we haven't rated him yet, and because we love him, and he's been making EverQuest videos, and he's a future Pantheon streamer and content creator. So everybody, get ready. Here we go. Make sure you give him a follow and show him some love when we hit the chat.
I love this guy, by the way. Hilarious shorts.
Dude,
Hilarious.
his videos
Redbeard's awesome.
with the cartoons are hilarious.
Yeah, go check that guy out. Freaking hilarious.
All right, here we go.
So
Hello there.
Thank you so much. How are you doing? How was the AMA? How was the AMA? I am sad I missed it, but I hope the AMA was really good. Marks9713, thank you so much for the follow. Gulo, it's good to see you. How are you? Militus45, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in, everybody. Derek!
Verify my account?
Yeah, that's why I'm not talking. I'm
Are you kidding me?
Jumping through hoops to talk here.
That's Derek, thank you so much for gifting 5 subs. That's super kind of you. The Blue Thunder Ellie, ask the DM, it's Banana Pancake.
I can't even find it.
All wonderful.
They emailed it to me and then they texted it to me. So
Oh my
you
head.
gotta do both. You gotta do both.
Not ever necessary, but thank you so
Fine,
much.
I can talk.
Thank you, and thank you for the follow, Captain Barto. Thank you for the follow, Reasonable Person. Everybody, oh my God, Sparrow. Holy shit, y'all. God damn, y'all. Wow. We love you all. Nathan. Oh my God. If y'all don't follow NathanNapalm on YouTube, he's amazing. He's hilarious. Absolutely highly recommend him.
What a sweetheart.
Oh my God. Joe and A, thank you.
He's so
Oh,
fun.
y'all.
Yeah, I love
What's
this guy.
happening?
For following Redbeard Flynn. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Much love from the Pantheon community, y'all. Y'all are wonderful. Holy
It didn't
crap!
even-
Thank you
it's
so
not
much for
sending
all
me
the
a text
love.
message.
Tetsui, thank you for gifting a sub to Pasta. Joanne, thank you for the follow. Dez, thank you for gifting a sub to Skull's Eye.
All right, I'm
Random Rob
closing the
82,
stream
thank
down.
you for the follow. Holy
All
shit,
right.
y'all.